Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Jonathan with Project Northeast, and if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that last year I tore my ACL in my right knee. Not knowing how bad it was, I was gonna basically just go in for surgery and then be out of work for a couple weeks, and then, you know, be back and try and be back on the bike in a little while. That didn't really happen because I had actually more damage inside there than was expected. But I just want to take you guys through kind of like my recovery journey. I'm at 15 weeks right now, and we're just going to go for a ride on my brand new torture device. To me, I mostly bought it basically because I wanted to do these recovery rides. I'm kind of quarantined to the rail trail or, you know, some really easy flat stuff for now, until I can get out in the woods and have that strength in case I need to dab and put a foot down. I'm not going to actually re-tear my ACL and be back at square one. That is definitely not what I want after 15 or 16 solid weeks of recovery and PT and working out and strength training to get back just to be able to ride right now with you guys. So take a look at my new torture device. It is not brand new, it is new to me. It's a used bike. I really didn't want to pay a lot of money for a gravel bike, you know, going full gravel Duro. But it's just something for me to be able to ride from my house, go around the trails, hit some dirt, hit some pavement, go back home and not have to drive anywhere and get a workout in and get this knee joint moving and lubricated and just kind of get it moving and get it strong again. All right, let's go for a ride, and I want to take you guys through step by step, week by week, what I was doing in my recovery and how I got to this point. All right, let's go. Well, here we are, 15 weeks post knee surgery, and I'm riding my bike. Feels pretty good just to be outside. I'm kind of quarantined to the rail trail right now, but let's go through step by step, week by week, how I got here in my recovery and what's ahead. So stay tuned, and maybe I can help you guys get back from your injury. All right, whoo, feels good just to be able to pedal. All right, so let's start at the beginning. Week one, I went in for surgery that day. I'm gonna post like some B-roll footage over this footage, but I started with surgery a couple weeks before Christmas. Came home, figured I was gonna be out of work for 2 to 3 weeks. Long story short, went in, they were like, nope, you have meniscus tear and stuff like that. We had to repair it. If you know anything about it, it's kind of like marshmallow. And when you stitch it together, you know, you can't put any weight on it. So 6 weeks, no weight bearing at all, in crutches, could not even put my foot down and put any weight on my knee. And that was pretty crazy. I had to tell work that I'd be out for another additional 3 weeks, for a total of 6 weeks on the couch doing nothing. But before I show you guys what I was doing at the PT and exercises and stuff like that, I just wanted to mention, you know, it was about 6 to 7 days at home. I was in a lot of pain, very stiff, very painful. They say basically stay on top of the meds, which is what I did. Basically it was ibuprofen, Tylenol, and they give you little pills of oxys or whatever to take the edge off, which I used for a couple days, and then kind of just got right off of them and stuck to the Tylenol and ibuprofen regimen. They wanted to do just Tylenol, but I just couldn't take it. It wasn't a great feeling for the first like week or two, and then I kind of backed away from most of the pain meds and the stupid brace they put me in. They didn't give me an articulating brace at all. They want you to be completely straight for, I can't remember how long, but it was weeks. So yeah, the knee immobilizer they had me in was basically to keep my knee straight and not bend it or anything like that for, I can't remember how long. It was at least like 2 to 3 weeks. They didn't really want me to do much of anything except for when I was at PT. So And then it was just a battle, you know, using one leg to do everything up and down the stairs, you know, wrap it with saran wrap to take a shower. It was just not a fun experience, but so then, you know, at PT, I was doing simple exercises, just working on range of motion. That was the first thing we checked, like how far we can get. And that was the thing they were saying, like, while you're on the couch, just practice like bringing your knee forward and back, you know, slowly, like run your heel on the edge, you know, on the table, and just kind of like start to bend your knee more and more as time went on. And then I was doing simple exercises at home, like front leg lifts, side leg lifts. And one of the things that I always say that to definitely not skip is the quad contractions. Definitely do not skip that. Do it as much as you can to make sure that you get your full range of motion to 0. And that's like super important. I wish I had actually done it more so that I could, you know, be back at it quicker, because I had to really work at getting a full flexion of my quad throughout this process. So fast forward to about 6 weeks, and I was learning to walk again, doing simple exercises. I was doing everything from, you know, like squats, 0 weight, but elevated, because it couldn't go down all the way. You can't go past 90 degrees, or they wouldn't let me go past 90 degrees because of the meniscus repair. And let me tell you, it wasn't fun learning to walk again. It was really kind of painful for the first like 2 weeks. So from like 6 weeks to 8 weeks was probably the most nerve-wracking part, you know, because you're walking. It was the middle of winter. I was walking out in snow, and I just was playing it really safe so I wouldn't want to re-injure it. But yeah, I was doing about step ups onto the platform. I was doing elevated squats. I was doing crab walks to the side with the rubber band. I was doing hip 3-ways, which is basically like, show you on the screen, is with the rubber band, like basically just really stabilizing every muscle around that knee. Doing RDLs to really strengthen those hamstrings, the outside of the lateral edge of those hamstrings. And that continued all the way from like, you know, 6 weeks to where I am now. It's just as many reps. The reps go up, the weight goes up, just like any strength training program. The range of motion continues to get better as you go. So for the first 12 weeks, I was going about twice a week to PT and doing all these exercises. And now that I'm after about 8 weeks, then I started going once a week in March. And then I actually still kept going to my own gym, but I got a chart to do the same routine on my own, 1 day a week, 1 to 2 days a week. So I've been working out about 2 to 3 days a week, one time at PT, and then 1 to 2 times on my own. All the way basically from through the month of March, and now here we are at the end of March. I think April 1st is on Tuesday, and this is my first official ride on the bike back from surgery, and it feels strong. I always warmed up with the bike at PT, and then that kind of gives it that little bit of lubrication, gets your muscles warmed up. My follow-up with my doctor last week was basically like, I was like, well, every time I sit and then I get up, it's really stiff, it's hard to get moving. Stuff almost seems like it's gonna click into place because it feels like still swollen in the joint. And he's like, yep, it's definitely probably swollen still in the joint. Picture it as like, you know, an old rusty joint and you gotta put oil in it. He's like, moving it will get that oil in there, it'll get the fluids moving around. He's like, it'll kind of work itself into place, but there is scar tissue still deep inside there and probably swollen, and that's what you're feeling, the stiffness. And right. So special thanks to Skittish Physical Therapy. They've gotten me through some pretty good injuries over the years, shoulder issues over the years, and a lot of strength training for enduro racing and stuff like that. They also have a subsidiary of kind of, I don't know if it's the same owner, but I think it's like brothers, and they have the Complete Athlete as well, where they do sports training for local athletes, high school athletes, college athletes, all that stuff. And I've gone to them before for doing sports training at night, just to be able to get, you know, that specialized type of training that I would want for the bike, you know, to counteract those muscles that get really strong on the bike but yet get really weak as well, the opposing muscles. So they help out a lot. I go there, I try to, you know, go there during the winter and really come out strong when I was racing. And I can tell you, the years that I focused on that strength training and balance and that core work and stuff like that with them, it came out a lot better, right? And I came out a lot stronger in the spring, working those hips and glutes and hamstrings and all those, you know, trunk muscles basically help me get back and help me race and help me prevent injury. And I think that's one thing that, you know, going into this injury that I want to keep doing, because I got away from it for a while and I think I got weak and tight. Even though I was in cycling shape, I think I got kind of weak in the other aspects of not doing that strength training. And I think honestly, like, that was probably a big factor in me tearing my ACL. I mean, yeah, it happens to the top athletes. We just saw some of the top, you know, athletes in college basketball, and even, you know, Kyrie Irving, professional basketball players that have an insane routine. They had the same injury that I got, you know what I mean? So there's only so much you can prevent, and it's like freak sometimes. You know, I've been playing basketball for 30 years, and just one wrong move and pivoted and tore my ACL really good. And it was non-contact. It was just pivot to the side, side shot, landed, sidestepped really fast. I was a point guard, so sidestepped really fast, jump stopped to the side, jump shot, tore it, twisted a little bit, and but I made the shot, so that's what counts. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it would have prevented the injury completely, but I definitely do think it's something that's important for me to continue moving forward as I do cycling, even just as a content creator or a video creator or anything like that. Like, just feeling better, having that strength. And it's just tough because when, you know, the summer season is out there and I want to get up in the mountains, I want to get awesome content, I want to ride and just be up in the mountains and ride sick trails, you know, you're always like, I'm just too busy, you know what I mean? And it's one of the easiest things to just take off your plate and be like, yeah, I'll do that later, you know? But it's really important, I think. And if you guys are interested in, you know, give them a ring, give them a contact. They also have a gym next door to Skittish Physical Therapy where I'm going, that you can go in there and you can get specialized training. You can work with a trainer and they can kind of specialize the workout routine depending on what you want to do, and they can kind of specialize it for you. So I hope this kind of helped you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments as far as you know, if it helped you in your recovery. But I was totally shocked when I came out of surgery, because it was just like, I was planning to be back. I told my work like 2 to 3 weeks, yeah, I should be back in walking. But when I looked at the paperwork and the recovery instructions from my surgeon, it was basically like, in bold letters, 5.5 weeks, no weight bearing. And I was like, wait, what? And I basically, like, it feels like drive-through orthopedics almost, to the point where, like, American healthcare is so rushed that I barely feel like I have any time, you know what I mean? I was in and out of the surgical center in like, you know, it was 144 minutes or whatever it was, scheduled in the OR. And then it was basically like, yeah, okay, we'll get ready. Okay, come in. Let's, you know, put the IV in. Oh, we got an opening. We gotta go. Rush me in, put me out. You know, take a deep breath, in and out, in and out, in and out. They put the sleep agent in there or whatever it is. I can't remember, but, and then boom, you're out. And then you wake up and you're like, oh, my knee is killing me. As soon as I woke up. So, and then they basically give you the paperwork. They give you some Tylenol. They let you eat a little bit something until you're, you know, not comatose anymore, and they send you home. And they give you this piece of paper to follow the instructions, and then there you go. You're off on your own. So let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm hoping this kind of gives people a realistic timeline of coming back from an injury like that and what you can expect. So like moving on from here, right? Where am I at? I'm at 15, 16 weeks. I'm still probably, which is just shy of 4 months. I'm still another 2 to 3, possibly even 4 weeks away from getting back in the woods, right? So, and then even then it's going to be careful and really taking my time. And then field and court sports, I play ultimate frisbee and I play basketball in the winter. I'm not getting back to that until late summer, and it's only not even April now. So basketball, usually like 9 months minimum to a year before you can get back and before you're strong enough. And that's literally training to get back to it, not just going about daily life. It's actively, physically training your body to be strong enough to do those things again. So it's a long journey, and I'll keep you guys updated, but hopefully it won't be too long before I can get back in the woods and get some real content and not this stuff. All right, as always, hit that like, hit the subscribe button. If you want to help support the channel, the biggest thing is the Patreon. It just really helps pay for everything and keeps me motivated to create content for you guys. And I hope this video helped you in your recovery, and let's talk about it. All right, have a good one.